Hey, welcome back, Donald Miller's Electrical Services. So, if you're getting into this trade, or you're already in this trade, and you want to better your skills, and put the money aside, okay, we're not talking about money, put like the funness of the job aside, because a good job with some good mechanics can be a good time. All right, but if you want to better your skills, okay, what you want to do is wear your tool belt. If you're working an 8-hour day, try to put your tool belt on for 7 hours. All right, and practice. Memorize your tool locations without you having to look. Okay, and don't buy any more multi-tools. Okay, if you want to really start getting talented in this trade, and I mean talented, okay, have like a large flat, a medium flat, a skinny flat. Like I have two Phillips heads. I have a long Phillips head and a short Phillips head, and it's for when I'm working. There's a fluidness with my tool use. I don't have to look down. I know where everything is. I know where my dikes are. I have like a 10-inch long angled head pair of dikes. Okay, it's a high leverage pair of dikes. They're made by Nipix. I also have a Nipix pair of linemans. I use my Kleins. I have all Klein screwdrivers. All right, and there's a fluidness that you'll get into a rhythm. All right, and you want to practice this rhythm and practice the rhythm. And the more hours that tool belt is on your hip, the better of a tradesman you're going to become. The tool usage is huge for becoming a tradesman. Okay, you should want to wear those tools. I don't understand guys that walk around trying to be cool with two tools in the back of their pocket and they say that's all they need. Well, sorry, but I put a tool belt on and I am gonna wreak havoc on what you think you can accomplish. For one reason, I don't have to go anywhere when I need more tools. When I need wire nuts, they're in my bag. My tools, my tape, my tester, everything's in my bag. And I'm becoming efficient. And I'm practicing. I'm not just wearing a tool belt doing my job, but I'm trying to do my job the best of my ability. And you start logging in hours like that. And I mean 5 days a week. That's 35 hours that you're practicing with your tool belt. You will blow anyone else away that's not wearing a tool belt. All right? Give it a year, give it 6 months. If you're trying, money is a reward for accomplishment. All right, the money's that should really be irrelevant when you're trying to better your skills. Your skills are based on you practicing every single day, getting better and better. And if you're an apprentice, and pay attention to your mechanic's hands. See if there's a fluid motion when he's using his tools. Because I know when I'm in a rhythm and I'm going, guys love watching my hands move. Because it's just, everything is fluid, everything is precise. There is no movement other than what I'm purposely doing. From how I'm cutting the box in, to my grounding, to my neutrals, to my switch legs, travelers, everything is precise and in motion. So when I'm, tightening screwdrivers in, my screwdrivers are just moving to the point where, all right, here's a way to tell if someone is fluid. If they can have a conversation and their tools don't miss a beat, they have hours in on their tool bag. Okay, you'll notice when you go from helper, you learn how to use your tools, and then you start using your tools. But you'll notice if a conversation happens, all of a sudden the tools stop working, and that's an indication that the person can't talk and work at the same time. And being fluid with your tools and holding a conversation at the same time, it takes skill to do. And when I was younger in the trade, I was always told to shut up. And I was told to shut up and work your tools. If your mouth and your tools can't move at the same time, your mouth has to stop. And that motivated me to learn how to talk and work at the same time. And skilled mechanics will be able to work on whatever they're working on and have a side conversation about anything because their tools are still moving. All right. So tool hours, put your tool belt on and clock those hours in, and you will become an efficient mechanic. All right. Don't try to look cool. That whole thing with 2 tools in the back pocket, they're only kidding themselves. All right. They're either that or they're skating an 8, one or the other. Like the guys that have those tool belts on, watch how quickly they get done. Watch how much work they get done. All right. And you'll know what I'm talking about. And don't buy cheap tools. It's like the worst thing you can do as a mechanic, or if you're studying to be a mechanic. Cheap tools will make your hands cramp up. Cheap tools will slide off the device. Cheap tools will bend when you have to put a decent amount of torque on, like a flathead. Never buy cheap tools. All right. As your Kleins wear out, use them as a beater. But an investment in Kleins is an investment in yourself. If you're a tradesman and you're going to be an honorable tradesman, all right, your hand tools are important. You want to take care of them. You want to keep them greased. Like, that's the one thing when I bring guys on, I look at their tools. Like, there's I don't care what lip service a mechanic gives me in an interview, because they will say anything to make that mechanic great. They will say whatever they need to say to convince me that they're a mechanic. Well, I'm usually muting them out, and I'm looking at their boots. I'm looking at their tools. I'm looking at their handbag. One of the biggest red flags in the world is like a brand new set of tools on your first day. It shows me that, where are your tools? Show me the age. Show me the wear. That's what I want to see. I want to see the wear of your tools. I want to see your dikes. I want to see your dikes being over a year old, dulling out without a single arc in them. That's what I would want to see, because that's impressive to me. I have a pair of nip picks that are 2 years old, and they're dulling, but there's no arcing in them. All right, that's impressive. All right, these are indications that when I bring on new mechanics, this is the stuff I'm looking at. Okay, I'm looking at where his wire nuts are, how he sets his wire nuts up on his tool pouch, how he sets up, where's his dikes, where's his needle nose, where's his strippers. And even though like good mechanics can strip with their dikes, really good ones can strip with their dikes, and then you go over and inspect the wire and they didn't nick the copper in any way. Because if you're gonna strip with your dikes, you're not actually pressing onto the copper to make the jacket come off. You are compressing the jacket and you're squeezing it right before your dikes hit that copper, and then it comes unsheathed. That's a good strip with the dikes, okay? So you have to have a lot of hours in to be able to do that successfully. So these young guys, one of the worst things you can do is ream the copper to strip it with your dikes. If I see it, they're not allowed to do it. They have to go put a pair of strippers in their bag, and they're using strippers the rest of the day, because you're basically scoring the entire copper and you're creating impedance, okay, or resistance. And what's going to happen is it's going to build up in current. And if you're pulling a lot on, if there's like a high amperage load on that, that's your weak point, and that's where it's going to break. And the scary part of breaking right near a wire nut is your braiding can hold that there, and it can arc and melt down. Okay, so that's why when someone reams the copper to strip it, it's so dangerous when they do it. And every time I see it, I have to sit the guy down and explain the physics of electricity to explain how dangerous it is, because a lot of times they just think they can do it regardless of what I say. So I have to sit them down and go over exactly why it's, and the moment they get it, and you can see it in their eyes, they're like, wow, that is dangerous. So now, then they get it. All right. So I'm gonna just rewind real quick. About a month ago, we brought a mechanic in, and this guy's telling people he had 15 years experience. So he's a lip service to all the guys, and the helpers are like, oh wow, 15 years, and the mechanics aren't paying attention. They're just kind of staring at him. The guy brings a brand new set of commercial electric tools on, and he's calling himself a mechanic. I'm sorry, but any mechanic worth his weight will invest in what makes him a career. And I mean, if I know I'm a mechanic, I know my tools have made my entire life. They've made me a living that I could never have dreamed of before I entered this trade. I don't have a worn tool. Like all my flatheads are perfect edge flats. They don't get beat with. My Phillips heads don't get jammed into drywall. All right? Because my tools are important to me, because they earn me a living. The only tool that's beat up in my bag is my old large flathead, and that's a beater. All right? Everything else is nice, clean, and new. My tool bag is a $100 tool bag, okay? I have a soft leather tool bag on my left side and a hard leather tool bag on my right. My right side is where all my Phillips heads, my hand tools are, and it's hard because I need to know exactly where things are at all times. The soft bag is my wire nuts, and then in the front, the smaller one is like button connectors, odds and ends, things like that. I have a couple testers, okay? But that's my tool bag. And if I go to any other job that has a respectable foreman, the foreman will see my tool bag and eye me up and down and know exactly who I am. Okay, and the fact I'm wearing Red Wings, okay, and they're worn in Red Wings, and okay, if you don't know what Red Wings are, if you can work 8 hours and your feet don't hurt, you can work 16 hours and your feet won't hurt with Red Wings. That's how good they are. All right, it's not a matter of being an expensive boot. You don't get foot fatigue. It feels like you're working on clouds. Okay, they're just that good of a boot. But I just wanted to throw that out there a little bit. Okay, if you really want to get efficient with your tools, all right, start practicing with your tool bag on. Don't take your tool bag off. All right, get used to having it on, know the positions of them, and really start working your tools and start becoming, if you want to be a tradesman, then be a respectable tradesman and learn your tools. All right, don't get a 16-in-1 screwdriver. They're stupid. You know, each screwdriver has its own purpose, so use it that way. Thanks for listening. God bless. Take care. Have a good night.